violence everywhere.
Rebellions are built on hope.
Hello and welcome to the Andor Season 2 live Q&A. We have returned for more live fun. I'm your host, Ash Crossan. With me here in studio, I have friends too, Tony Gilroy and Diego Luna. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Ash.
Oh my gosh, it's finale day.
It's very sad.
It is very sad. It is bittersweet. Hope.
It's sad.
It's sad. I'm sad. But we get to have a little fun right now. So before the last batch of episodes drop later today, we wanted to get the family together for one more live Q&A and look back at some of our favorite moments of the season. Do you have a highlight of this season thus far?
For me, it was Gorman, like the whole Gorman and the Senate. You know that those two episodes, because we get to see. I mean, it's just like the scale of the show is there, you know, and when we execute it, you felt it. You know, it was happening. You know, we were crossing that plaza. The whole choreography was happening in front of your eyes. There was sometimes many cameras. Therefore, there was different events, you know, happening at the same time, and it was just incredible. The production, also the way Luke Hall built that, you know, there was no way to see the trick, you know. It was a 360 feeling of like you were in that place, you know, and it was happening.
God.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And just like we did with the Andor Season 1 live Q&A, if you were there, we want to hear from you. So drop your questions in the comments. We'll get to as many as we can for Tony, Diego, and our special guests that are dropping in along the way. And I believe our first guest is here right now, ready to chat Season 2. And oh boy, does she play a big part in this season. Let's welcome back Genevieve O'Reilly.
Yeah.
Genevieve, so good to see you.
Hello.
Now, we got to chat in the Season 1 in our last live Q&A, and we're so excited for fans to get into Season 2. How are you feeling right now? It is finale day. How are you feeling leading up to this last batch of episodes?
Oh, look, relief, excitement, and sadness all at once. You know, it's so special to get to share it, but it's the end. So it's bittersweet.
Well, why don't we take a look at a moment that was so amazing this season. I don't even need to set it up anymore. Let's just take a look at Mon Mothma's amazing Senate speech.
Fellow senators, friends, colleagues, allies, adversaries, I stand before you this morning with a heavy heart.
The Chandrilan emblem on the door.
I've spent my life in this chamber. I came here as a child.
Hey.
And as I look around me now, I realize I have almost no memories that predate my arrival. And few bonds of affection that cleave so tightly. Through these many years, I believe I have served my constituents honorably and upheld our code of conduct.
Where's Chava?
He was with you.
This chamber,
He said to meet here.
is a cauldron of opinions. And we've certainly all
Had our patience and tempers tested in pursuit of our ideals.
disagree as we might. I am hopeful that those of you who know me will vouch for my credibility in the days to come. I stand this morning with a difficult message. I believe we are in crisis.
What are they doing?
The distance between what is said
Shut it down.
And what is known to be true has become an abyss.
It's locked. Why is it locked?
It's supposed to be.
It hasn't been locked all year.
We know, we fixed it.
What?
We checked the protocol.
Open it.
You need the sequence key.
So let's have it.
We took it up to the security office yesterday.
Of all the things at risk, the loss of an objective reality is perhaps the most dangerous.
the death of truth
is the ultimate victory of evil. When truth leaves us, when we let it slip away, when it is ripped from our hands, we become vulnerable to the appetite of whatever monster screams the loudest.
I don't care if you have to cut power to the whole chamber. Get her off the air!
This chamber's hold on the truth was finally lost on the Gorman Plaza. What took place yesterday, what happened yesterday on Gorman was unprovoked genocide. Yes, genocide. And that truth has been exiled from this chamber. And the monster screaming the loudest, the monster we've helped create, the monster who will come for us all soon enough, is Emperor Palpatine.
Incredible. I mean, Genevieve, you described this scene as a piece of music, both in terms of writing and delivery. Can you elaborate, like, how it felt watching that back and filming that moment?
It's such a special thing. And what I think what I can really talk to there is just that idea of a piece of music and the orchestra it takes. When you look at that piece, you see so many storylines, so much of what Dan and Tony wove together to create that crescendo, so many different instruments, so much story, so much life in each of those little vignettes all around that speech. And it just serves to lift the moment. It is a beautiful piece of kind of narrative architecture there. And it's just really special to be a part of that.
Yeah, incredible. I mean, we were completely silent watching that clip.
No, I know we're allowed to talk through it.
We're allowed.
We watched it in the run through. We're like, I don't know if we could say anything over this.
We
No.
shouldn't. But
Yeah.
what I want to say is that it doesn't feel like you did that by yourself. Like, it feels you're conducting that orchestra, you know, and that's spectacular. I mean, obviously, the writing is so powerful, and oh my God, there's some lines that just like hit like, damn. But the way you deliver that and the feeling of that forum you're talking to, that you know, and this galaxy witnessing, that you did by yourself.
Well, you know all
in a
about
room. Come on.
You know all about that, Diego. You're you're alone in a big green box. But of course I wasn't alone, because we had our extraordinary crew, and I remember that. Like, I was nervous because I did have to stand up and give the speech, but I was giving it to our crew. And I knew it was so important for the character and for me, and it was so important and special to share it with them. You know, it was pretty special, and they're a vocal group, so it was pretty special to stand there and give it to them. And
yeah,
it was also, I remember there's this little tiny moment just before you film when I touched the little that little medallion
Pendant,
she
yeah.
wore. Yeah, and you know, the idea that, and Michael Wilkinson created that. That's like a new version for Andor that he created for Mon. But really, the character had that all the way through the different versions, that version of that emblem. And I do remember touching that and rooting it to her. And yeah, it was just really special.
As I mentioned at the top of the show, we do want to hear from you, and we have our first live question, so let's take a look. What has it been like getting to play such an iconic Star Wars character and help add so much more depth to her story? Excellent question, and it has been so great spending more time with Mon. Genevieve, for you, what has that been like?
It's what every actor wants. Every actor wants the opportunity to flesh something out. Every actor wants the opportunity for the writers and the producers to take a risk with you, to believe in you, to give you something to champion. And it was extraordinary for me in Andor, both seasons 1 and season 2, to be able to really add value to this woman. It's in the writing, the value that Tony and the writers gave to her in a way that just never existed before. And I was really eager to play that. I was really desperate to play that. And I'm grateful for it.
Let's take a look at what happens following that powerful speech, because Mon Mothma will need some help escaping here. So let's check that out.
Senator.
I can't speak right now.
I was in Gorman yesterday. I saw everything in the
Diego,
plaza.
what sticks out to you about this scene when you look back at it?
Well, one thing was that we had an opportunity to play together after a long time.
Yeah.
A long time of seeing each
their
other.
first date.
It's the first opportunity to interact, and I think it's when everything like connects, you know, when he understands, like it's probably like the moment where he realizes what he's part of.
Yeah.
Right, like that fracture between what happens in the Senate versus what happens in the ground with the people is not there anymore. Like that encounter for him means that, right?
Yeah. I mean, Genevieve, for you, finally coming together with Diego on screen, what was that moment for you?
That was such a good day. I remember just being thrilled to be able to play together. And this was a really big sequence. So we shot this over a while, and you know, even this moment here, that took a lot of work. And I think what I remember most is both Diego and I talking about how important it was that you see these two people who are so vitally different. He is the soldier here, right here, and she's useless. And that was important to show that. She can be brave with her voice, but she has none of these skills right here.
Tony, how much had you thought about how these two would come together and what the right moment would be?
We knew it had to be here. I mean, it was always on the menu from the very beginning. I mean, Gorman was always on our calendar, so it was always, in any iteration of the show, it was always going to be there. And I always intended for him to be the one to come and get her. How that happened and how we would possibly do it, and the architecture of it and the blocking of it, and I mean, this is
jacket.
Yeah.
This is you know, a lot of things we see on our show is everybody on board. This is all departments. This is Janusz Metz directing. This is Sean Guest, who's the AD, who's wrangling this whole thing. This is Mark Hatton, who's shooting it. It's all the production design. It's everything in the bag at once.
Yeah.
And you know, no, that was always going to happen. But it, you know, there's a couple reunions in the show that you have to wait for. There'll be some others that are coming, but you plot them as you go along and go, boy, if I could get these two people together, you'd really want to see that. So I think we have tonight. We'll drop a little bit more.
All right.
It's that also. I always wanted to wear her costume. You know, I'm obsessed with everything.
Yeah.
And it was just written the other way around.
Yeah, I was like, can I have the jacket?
It's the other way around. But can you Give
Just
me
wait a
your-
minute. Welcome to the rebellion, but hang on.
It's like that sort of.
She got to wear the most beautiful
Amazing.
pieces. Like Michael really like had a favorite here.
You know what I love? If people watch, if they watch past that scene, I love the moment when he takes off in the car and she sits back, and we've seen her in that car, and that car always went too slow for me, the limousine. I was always like, can you speed up the car? And like for the first time, that car is really moving, and she sits back like, I have never been driven like this before. I love that. I love that take.
Well, more to come tonight. Genevieve, so great to see you. So great getting to know Mon more this season. And we will say bye for now, but be tuning in later.
Thanks for
Thank you,
having
Genevieve.
me.
Get
Have
some
a great
sleep.
night.
Yes.
Ciao.
Yes, she tuned in the middle of the night for us.
She's
so
in
we are-
Australia.
Yeah, so we are very grateful. But our next guest is here, and she has been making moves within the Empire, and we cannot wait to see what comes next for her. Dedra herself, the lovely Denise Gough. Hello!
Hello.
Hey.
Welcome to the live stream. How are
look
we
at your
doing?
backing. Love it.
Yeah,
My dining room.
I
My
love that.
wallpaper. Thanks.
it's beautiful. It has been wonderful getting to know more about Dedra, and of course, seeing more of you this season. How has your understanding of this character changed between seasons?
It's sort of remained pretty steady. I knew from the beginning that she was an Imperial through and through, and I've loved like holding in my body what it's like for her to have a relationship. That's been that was really extraordinary because she was still really Dedra Meero, It's not like there were suddenly scenes where they were, having a really nice time together and gazing in each other's eyes. It was always sort of odd and strange, and what happens to her as she tries to navigate that. And then, of course, what you saw last week. I've gotten to do more inside myself with her, but she's never failed to be the Dedra that she started as, really.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look at one of her moments. Not with our favorite weird couple, but with Dedra and Krennic in episode 1.
Another
1 year
weird
later. Let's check it out.
You're awfully quiet, aren't you?
It's a lot to take in.
Oh. I heard you learn quickly.
I like to know what I'm talking about.
Denise,
You're
what did you
here
make of
at
their
my
dynamic
request.
and working with
I
Ben?
don't get to coruscant much these days, but
Yeah,
I do
it's
keep
funny,
my head.
when I watch this, I think of how nervous
people
she was when he arrives over.
might not have
She's really,
recovered from an
she was,
incident
I tend not to prepare anything because there's no point, because an actor like Ben or the actors of the
still
caliber
forming
in
an opinion.
Andor will always do what you don't think they're going to do. So when he walked up to the window behind me, it was a genuine, oh,
You had it before
to
they
deal with
finished
him
speaking.
now.
I want your assessment.
Yeah, it was, I mean, I loved working with Ben.
Propaganda will only get you so far.
He's a live wire, and it was, even in
Need a
these
radical
tiny,
insurgency
tight
you can count
moments,
on.
it was, I was never sure of where he was going to go.
You need
And
born
I loved
rebels
that.
you can depend
And I
on.
also love that she pulls herself back quite quickly from being
Character.
intimidated, She's she's
She
really,
walks
and we
away.
talked ab- well, yeah, so we talked about that. Myself and Ben talked about it. And initially we did a take where he walked away. And I asked Ari, could we try one where I walked away, where Dedra walked away? And it felt really bold of her to do that. And then, of course, I'm sure Ben loved that the shot ended on him, but I really loved I really loved that she
Situation.
wanted. I loved that she didn't stand there. She doesn't want to engage too much because she already knows what she's going to be asked to do, and she doesn't want that to happen.
Yeah. And people love watching Ben and his speeches this season.
He may not be done.
Maybe not. Love a hint. Well, we have a pre-recorded question coming in about the baddies of Star Wars that we've come to kind of love. Let's hear it.
Hello there to Tony and the amazing cast of Andor, and thank you all so much for your beautiful work on season 2 so far. My favorite aspect of this show has always been the complexity of its villains, with characters like Dedra and Syril, who I have been guilty of rooting for at times. They are some of my favorite characters, and I felt heartbroken for them, even in episode 8. So my question is, what do you make of the audience's love-hate relationship with the antagonists in the series? And was it ever your intention for fans to feel sorrow or even heartbreak for villains like Syril and Dedra? Thank you so much.
Well, that's just an unambiguous yes all the way around. And Catherine, I've seen your video, so I know how much this affected you. I just have to say that. Yeah, I mean, look, fascism doesn't just take down the oppressed. It doesn't just come for the people it's trying to control. It inevitably destroys the people who've worked the hardest to build it. Mm-hmm. And that's been true all through history as well. And it would be not only irresponsible, it would be just a missed opportunity to not feel everything through every character. So yeah, the intention is to climb into everybody's skin, and no matter how much you hate them or how opaque they might seem to you, that you feel something when they go through something. And yeah, yes, and yes.
Yeah. Denise, do you agree with that? I mean, there is a hair of, I call them the most shakeable, because I'm like, come on, guys.
Yeah, but you know what's great though is when you have really great writing, which I've talked about a lot on this because it's the truth. Like, my job is not to get people to feel sorry for Dedra. In fact, I went as far as I could possibly go the other way. Like, I have to not even think about what people are thinking about her. Or, but I remember I did Angels in America on Broadway, written by Tony Kushner, and he wrote a big ensemble play, and in each character they all did like these really gray area things. And I learned on that when the writing is really great, then your job is to be completely focused on the truth of the character, and then the audience does everything else. Like, I didn't for one moment think I want them to feel bad for her, but I'm really satisfied that they do. I'm so satisfied with this whole thing.
Well, let's go to another live question from the comments here. What do we got? Eye contact seemed to be a major communicative factor in Syril and Dedra's relationship. How did the awkwardness yet tenderness of your scenes come about so statically emotional? And it's true, they maintain so much intense eye contact.
Okay, so Kyle Solar can do monologues with his eyeballs, and there were times when we were looking at each other that I genuinely was like, oh my God, I'm reading so, like the scene before Dedra says, turn out the lights. When I watched that, I was like, oh my God, it's so long. We're so quiet for so long. We're just staring at each other with these tiny twitches. I really do think I got so lucky to have a partner in Kyle that was so open to letting those things happen, because it's a strange job that we have as actors. We're looking in a lot of eyes all the time, and you meet whether you're able to hold that a lot, you know. And Kyle and I we really went for it all the time, and it turned into this sort of silent, awkward and kind of beautiful thing, that watching, you're like super awkward, but I remember being so in awe of what he was doing as well, you know.
Yeah. Our favorite weird couple. Well, Denise, thank you so much for stopping by. Cannot wait to see more tonight. Thank you so much. We're gonna say bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Thanks so much.
Bye,
Bye.
Denise.
Ciao.
Well, let's bring in the other half of that equation, because Kyle Solar is here to join us. Syril himself, winner of the staring contest, apparently. Kyle, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
It is so great to see you. Not to get dark right away, but Syril fans across the Star Wars fandom were perhaps very sad with last week's episode. So just want to know, what was it like for you that day on set, bringing Syril's story to a close?
It was very cold. I remember being very cold and being very tired. But it was amazing because it felt so fitting for Syril to have that end, for the life that he thought he was living to come crashing down around him, and for him to meet what he thinks kind of the reason for his life and for the things that he's lost and for his anger and frustration, to meet Cassian again right at the very end, and exercise kind of all of his frustrations and anger. Yeah, it was just perfect for him to have that ending. I was so happy.
Yeah. Diego, what do you recall about that moment and that day?
I think that line was very difficult to say. You know? I mean, it happens a lot in this show that you have to put aside instant feelings that you end up like going for, because we know the ending, because we did the first season, because I remember Ferrix as, but it was really hard to say that. And at the same time, I think when we understood that, the logic of that fight and those moments they have, and those confrontations, as Denise was talking about, like the way this guy looks at you, you know, and that feeling of being hunted by something you don't understand, it was really cool. I think it was very smart also. I remember the phone call of the question. Do you remember
I had to fight
that?
for that. I had to really fight for that line.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of controversy about that.
There was controversy, and yes, I can.
Yeah,
of course,
yes.
it's out.
I
yeah.
say yes. Whatever it is.
I got a phone call. You remember? It was the night before, or probably the morning we were about to, I think it was the night before because of the time difference. You better make sure you get that like right, you know, like the one, because there was a whole thing of like,
alts.
Should we do alts? Should we do? And he was like, it's that one. You have to understand it's that one. And it felt like, I'm not lying, right? Like the moment when we said it, and that kind of like, oh shit, the whole scene like turns 360 in that moment. You know, it's like, what?
I tell him I'm naming the episode "Who Are You?"
Right.
Like I'm not. I pushed all my chips on that. There was a lot of phone calls about that.
It's so heartbreaking.
But it wasn't like you were clear about it.
I was clear.
Uh-huh.
I was very clear. There was a lot of noise. I mean, Johnny and Zon, everyone was nervous. I said, okay, so I mean, what do? You get alts, but like sometimes the building of alts diminishes the one that you want. You know, so you get half a slice of the thing that you wanted. So my call to him was like, you can get all the alts you want, but I know what I'm going when I get in the cutting room. I know what we're going with. So make sure you get a good one.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna look at the other ones.
I mean, Kyle, what was going through your mind when Diego says, "Who are you?"
Oh man, it's like it's the death blow for Syril. I think that line is so cutting. Everything Syril experiences in the 10 minutes leading up to that is kind of crushing, but that is the ultimate death blow for him. The guy whom he's been funneling all of this energy towards for the past couple years just doesn't even know he exists. And yeah, brutal. And Syril lowers the gun. He's just, he can't pull the trigger. It just is like, yeah, soul crushing for him in that moment.
My baby girl. Okay, let's go to a clip of let's bring it up a bit. One of my favorite weirdo couple, Syril and Dedra. Let's check a clip about their relationship. First of all, she looks fantastic.
I was safe.
I love his little beret.
I know, he's gone Gorman, you know?
Yeah.
Fitting in. It's wonderful when, like, being a secret agent and your secret fashion fantasies collide.
I know.
Right?
Party as insisted.
I mean, you know, this scene is cool and this sets it off, but, like,
How long can I stay?
the thing that really, like, totally tipped me over is the cue that Brandon came on, that 1960s swinging
think they're really
TV
watching Edie's
cue that when they're setting the
No,
table for
but we've
Edie
put too much in
in
now to have
episode
it go
3.
wrong for something so
Like,
small.
Yeah.
it really is like, this is some version of the Mary Tyler Moore show, you know? There's a working woman in the big city and her boyfriend, a
Turn out the lights.
swinging apartment. Yeah, no, it's great.
Can't believe you had me followed.
I mean,
They're staring. I want to point that out right
they
now.
are staring. We were
staring.
talking to Denise about how much you guys just kind of maintain eye contact. That's kind of part of their dynamic.
There was an unspoken agreement that we just wouldn't blink when looking at each other. And I don't, well, we never spoke about it, but that's kind of what happens. And it just makes everything fun. Yeah.
What
great.
happens when the lights go out?
Tell us,
Nobody
please.
knows and nobody wants to know.
Yeah.
It's like, do we want to know? I don't know. We have another pre-recorded question coming in. Let's have a look.
Tony Gilroy, I had a question for you regarding Syril Karn, and I know you probably got a lot of questions like this in the past, but in that final moment where he has that slow motion montage right before his eyes meet with Cassian, what's going through his mind in that moment? Is it a sense of remorse? Is it a sense of, is he just in shock? Is he have any semblance of guilt? I know Star Wars is about hope and redemption, but in Syril's case, is that still a factor there? What's going on there? I was hoping you would dive into that a little bit more. Thank you guys so much. Thanks again to Star Wars, and may the Force be with you always.
I'll go deep on this. If you go back and watch in season 1, I'm not sure what episode it is, but it's after he's moved back home with Edie, and he's sitting on his bed. He has no prospects, and there's a moment where there's like, he obviously gets like a minute of sunshine goes through the window, and he waits for that 1 minute. And he's got his little action figures on the counter. I mean, what's happening to him on the Gorman Plaza is every single thing that's ever been built up in his fantasy life, and the whole foundation, the entire superstructure of the skyscraper of glory and service that he's built up. The whole thing is just absolutely collapsing. It's utter collapse. Everything he's ever done has been wrong. And man, what's just may none of us ever have to experience that.
Yeah. Kyle, your conversations with Tony just based on what he said. I mean, what is your kind of addition to that?
Yeah, I think he's seeing through the veil, and I kind of felt like he was kind of leaving a cult at that point, or he can't quite fathom that he's been instrumental in causing this massacre for what was such a huge focus and love of his life, this thing called the Empire, which has lied to him and used him as a pawn and a patsy in this scheme. And he is in shock. He's in total just spiral, and can't believe what he's seeing, can't believe he created this, basically, and that everything he believed to be true is false. Doesn't know what to believe or think anymore. I mean, he's just going through a meltdown.
Well, let's go to we have another live question coming in. Let's take a look at what that one is. Kyle, what has it been like to see so many fans love Syril and root for him throughout the course of the show?
And that's lovely to hear. That's cool. I always liked the guy. I thought he was a bit weird. It's cool that other people like him too. I feel really sorry for him. But yeah, I think it's great that they have been able to connect with someone which again, you know, what Denise was saying, it's the strength of the writing, it's the strength of these characters who are so fully realized and complex and colorful and completely 3 and 4 dimensional, really. I mean, they just have so much to get your teeth into. And you know, he's got such emotional depths and psychological weirdness that I think people can identify with. And an overbearing mother, you know, maybe that makes it a little easy to latch onto. But it's cool that people yeah, rooted for him, I guess, in his own way, in their own way.
Has something to do with Kyle Solar too.
Yeah, agreed.
Let's just like, yeah.
Well,
you got to have that to get there. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Kyle,
Stop staring at me.
He's doing the thing. Well, Kyle, it has been such a delight watching you and staring at you in this show. Such a pleasure. Thank you so much for stopping by. And yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Bye, Kyle.
Bye.
Bye. Kyle. All right, we are going to bring in our next guest here, and I'm very excited to talk to her. Elizabeth Dulau, who plays Clea, is joining us now. Hello.
Yay. Hello. Finally.
Hey. It is so great. I mean, how great has it been for you stepping into Galaxy Far, Far Away and known as the Star Wars universe for the first time with Andor?
Oh my God, I mean, it's been surreal, completely surreal in the best way. Like when I was first cast in this, obviously I knew Star Wars is huge. It's been huge for decades and decades. But I went for a coffee in this tiny little coffee shop in a village in like deep countryside UK. And there was a guy there with a Rebel Alliance sticker on his laptop. And it was that moment I was like, oh my God, this is even more huge than I realized. It's just like, it is everywhere. And that's when it got really exciting.
Yeah. Well, let's check out a moment with Clea when she is conversing with Cassian, and we'll talk more about it. Let's take a look. All right. So what is going on here?
He's come back from Gorman, yeah, and she's printing up credentials for him to sneak him in the Senate.
I mean, I always ask people when they come into Star Wars, there's got to be that kind of pinch me moment. Elizabeth, for you, being around all of these amazing Star Wars props, like did you have your first like moment of, oh my gosh, I'm truly in Star Wars?
I mean, the radios are a really fun prop. The props department were phenomenal. They introduced me to this huge new setup for the final season, and I got to like play around with it for a good 10 minutes.
I'm not cool.
Just like familiarize myself with it. But I think that the moment that I really fully realized, wow, okay, yeah, this feels really Star Warsy, is are those scenes with like all the supporting artists around you, and you've got like aliens and you've got droids zipping by, and everyone is dressed like their Coruscant finest. That was an incredible memory, and that's the most Star Warsy I've ever felt.
So it's a private.
It's insane, but because where you put the camera, it's just like it is so rich and amazing, you know. And there's so many like windows, little spots where you can place the camera and understand the richness of these sets.
In the gallery there, like every single drawer that you open is full of stuff for us to play around with and to use. Like it feels like a real working workshop. It's amazing.
And there's logic, right? There's logic, like things. It's not just that they're full of stuff. There's a logic to everything. Someone thought of like what would be a day of work there. It felt like that.
Yeah, it's a super cool set.
I mean, you see through the show all the time how Luke Hull is making everybody better, and making all the directors, just leading the directors into, you know, walking around when they're on their trying to figure out what they're going to do, the sets just lead to the shots that they're going to have. We're going to do something in episode 10, I think episode 10, which is, I'm really happy that Elizabeth's on here now and getting a halo that she deserves. And tonight, people will really, if you loved her before, you'll be really into what happens in episode 10 tonight. And the set for episode 10 is maybe the greatest example of a set that, if anybody who's interested in production design or interested in blocking as a director, watch what this set does tonight in leading sight lines, eye lines, making great shots easy. The gallery was always that way. I mean, everything that Luke brings.
The distance that you can have, in a scene, that dramatic event of you getting closer and closer and closer, and all the stages behind. Like, I remember that scene. We were really far away from each other.
We're opposite sides of the room.
And it's huge. You're like in a theater, you are like, and but there's no empty space. It's all story between the two characters, and they're approaching, and one is hiding to the other, and there's a way to actually feel it. It's incredible.
Yeah, that's awesome. Let's go to another live question. We have one coming in right now.
Thanks.
Elizabeth, if you could take one thing from Luthen's collection, what would it be? Lots of good stuff in there.
I was constantly asking, can I steal this? Can I have this? Like, I don't know. I think I went around every single little bit in that gallery and was like, can I take this home with me? I mean, some of those, like the crowns, the headdresses, I think I'd take those home, but I don't know what I'd ever do with it. I couldn't wear something like that. I'd just stick it on a mantelpiece forever, and it would be, something to talk to guests about. Like, but yeah, one of those. That's beautiful. That or the Indiana Jones stones that were hidden in the back as well. That's iconic. The ones from the Temple of Doom. I loved those.
Yeah. Let's go to another live question. Another one coming in. Clea has become a big character this season. What is something you really liked about her and you prepared for this season?
Ooh. Something I have always really loved about Clea. I think there's a lot to her that she keeps deeply hidden. Actually, on the surface, she comes across as very controlled all the time, and quite cold. But I think that's because actually there's a lot underneath all of that she's sort of had to keep hidden. She's all about, doing anything that needs to be done for the rebellion. And I think that includes sort of trying to repress any sort of feelings of like love or friendship or caring, because ultimately I think she feels that makes her weaker in a way. But they're the parts of her that I love most. What was the second part to that question? Was what do I love most about her, and what?
And what
did you have to prepare anything differently for season 2?
Thanks, Tony.
I was curious. Did you do anything differently? I don't know.
Do you know, I learned to build radios.
Yeah, the radio. Yeah.
Yeah, I learned about like all the different components that go into building a radio, and I got this like kids DIY radio kit and like made my own little at-home radio. I mean, it's nothing like obviously what Clea has achieved, because it's this tiny little like for kids kit, but I nailed it. It works.
I had one of those. I love those things.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to say goodbye for now, but like you mentioned, there's a lot of groundwork laid and some good stuff coming. So can't wait to see it.
Thanks
so much, Elizabeth.
Good to
Thanks,
see you.
Bye, Elizabeth.
Good to see you too. Bye, guys.
Good luck tonight. Yeah.
Thank you.
She's just very special. Like I think when you're acting with there's so much enigma when you're acting with her. It haunts you the way she delivers lines, you know? There is a very special, I mean, of this character, I guess, that because she just said it, it's like what she's hiding, what matters. You know, she's always giving you just the right information, therefore you're always like thinking, what is she hiding? What is she not saying? What is she keeping?
Mm-hmm.
There's always that feeling with that character. It was very special.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so great.
Play with her.
We have another question coming in. For Diego, what qualities do you think make Cassian the great rebel leader that he is?
Ooh, I think there's many. I think one I really admire is that he doesn't think he doesn't think he's capable of doing much without the help of others. He understands the need for others. You know, he's not someone that is expecting a lot from him. He's always surprised by himself, you know. He's therefore always open to learn and to grow and to work in team. And I think one other thing is that he learns in this second season. I mean, how important is to have love as the main drive force, you know. He's questioning everything because he's feeling. And I love that transition that he has in the second season. I mean, now we've seen the whole story with Bix, and we understand what he's dreaming of now. Now I get it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's finally fighting for the right reasons, you know. It's not revenge, it's not anger, it's not like that's there, but there's something like, you know, there's something pumping there.
I'm so glad you said that because I'm going to bring in our next guest who might know a little more about this, the talented, amazing Bix Caleen herself, Adria Arjona. Hello.
Hi,
Our
how are you
final
guys?
guest. It is so wonderful to see you. We got to chat in season one, and we were so excited for fans to see what was in store for Bix in season 2. How are you feeling right now I mean, we're right here. Final episodes are here. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm ready for them to come out. I think, you know, I think you work so hard on something for so long, and just watching the reaction of people throughout this whole season has been really heartwarming. And when you create with family, and I don't know, I love seeing Diego being celebrated, and I love reading an article and, you know, seeing Tony's name being uplifted, and Elizabeth and Denise and Genevieve, and just seeing everyone getting all the credit that they deserve feels so good. So I feel all sorts of ways. I'm like, I'm ready for it to come out. And then also I'm like, does that mean it's an official wrap on Andor once it all comes out? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, why don't we take a look at one of my personal favorite moments of the season, a little revenge here from episode 6, What a Festive Evening. Let's check it out. Oh, heck yes.
I had to fight for that cupcake too. I just want to point that
Wait,
out.
why?
I don't know. I just wanted it, but nobody wanted it.
How do I know?
It will only feel like forever.
Adria, what sticks out to you about filming this scene? I mean, it's not only for yourself, but also for the character, for Bix. It's incredible.
It's like the first time, I think, this whole season that you see her sort of back. She's like strong, and she's got a heartbeat when she walks. Just because she's sort of is something that kind of sticks out. And I remember, you know, when filming it, because I like the actors so much, I was being quite gentle because they're plastic, and I didn't want to hurt him. Until we did like a couple of takes where it was like, you know, Ari was like, you gotta, this is Dr. Gorst. And I was like, all right, get those ears ready. And I just finagled those headphones on, and it just felt right. And then this part, this whole walking thing, just it was close redemption, I think, for me as an actress and also for Bix as a character. I was like, rooting for my own character, which I've never done that in a movie or show. Yeah.
And then when Cassian comes in, you're like, oh, he's out there too. I felt like I was watching the Super Bowl watching this. I was screaming in front of my TV.
Come on, those shots.
Yes.
It's
Those
Ari
shots.
Kleinman. I mean,
Oh my God, the director.
amazing directing, amazing. I mean, you could say it's on the page, but that's really that's some
It's
A
everything.
plus directing. I'll also point out that the Q is called the Bix is back. The Bix is back. The Bix is back.
The Bix is back.
I think that's what the
Bix
Q is called.
back.
The
Oh,
Bix
really?
is back. Yeah.
I like that. I mean, we heard from Adria for that moment. I mean, how was that moment for you? Just seeing kind of how
He's just along for the ride.
He's just along for the ride. But I mean, it's like it's part of their love, and he's helping her get revenge, and it's awesome.
I think this whole season is just like it's so wonderful to fill these moments with that. What it means for them too. Everything means a lot to the in terms of the story, the backstory, but for what they're building, I don't know. I was always skeptical, about this the opportunity with these very few moments to see a full rounded, robust love story, and I think it's there, and I think it's there because the moments written are so specific. They if you hear of them having dinner, you understand what happened before and after, right? Like when you can get that intimate into someone's story, you understand there's something huge. You don't have to see the other, 300 and something days that fill the year. You understand this relation. And I remember when Tony talked to me about it on the first season, it's like, they're everything. They might get an opportunity to be a couple because they're everything. They've been their home, their family, their country. They're everything for each other.
It's the first kiss. I mean, he climbs over the wall. He says, "I remember when I climbed over the wall and your father caught me." I mean, they've been together
everything.
since they were 6 years old, right?
It's everything. It's every
9 years
possible
old.
angle of love. That's what I mean. I get very romantic and idealistic with the second season because it's what was needed for this to kind of get to the point.
All the Tims and the Wendy's and whatever,
And the love of every character here, because love becomes really important in this second season for everyone.
Sure does. Let's go to our. We have one more pre-recorded question coming in. Let's play it.
Hey everyone, my name is Adam Hlavik and I'm from the YouTube channel Heroes Reforged. We do reactions to movies and TV shows, Andor being one of them, and we love the show so much. It's an incredible addition to the Star Wars lore. What's that? One more time? Oh, I'm getting a transmission from Japan.
Thanks, Adam. I'm Augustine, this is Hector, and we are actually at Tokyo Disney Sea today.
Yeah, and our question is for everybody. What's been your favorite fan response from not your own home country, but from any other country, internationally? Thanks.
Thank you.
I'm going first because I want to get it out. Tokyo. Celebration. Insane. Fantastic. That's and Ash was there.
I was there.
It was.
You've been everywhere with us this whole.
I know.
I know.
Jeez.
We were all there.
No, I know, but I'm stealing that one first. You guys are on your own.
And he's right because there was 125 different countries represented at celebrations in Japan.
Yes.
A third of that audience spoke Spanish. At least you could tell when you said "Hola," no?
Yeah.
It was huge.
It was so interesting because it was first season we did, we went to celebration, but people didn't really, it was before the show really came out. So people were like, I'm not sure who you guys are, what you guys are, or what you represent in this universe. And then, so this time around, it's the first time that we come back as Andor, people watching the show. And it's also the last time we're coming at the same time. So it was pretty surreal and really, really emotional. I remember just kind of sitting down and just taking it all in and getting kind of teary-eyed. And then I look over and Genevieve is kind of getting teary-eyed too. And then I look to the other side and it's Denise, and it's like the strongest women of Andor just melting at the realization that, you know, people really love our show and love what we've been a part of. So Tokyo was pretty special.
It was incredible. We have one more clip to rip my heart out. Okay, we have one more clip today. Bix chooses the rebellion.
Oh.
Let's take a look.
We're not talking over this. One. I'm not.
I think we need a reshoot.
Yeah, can we go back and not do this?
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen this?
This is the first time I've seen it.
Oh.
Wow. Bix.
Again, the shots.
It's also like when he comes in when there's the boy in the tunnel. In the ship.
Yeah.
You're
Same shot.
sleeping now. You look so peaceful. I want to be brave, but I can't. If I was brave, I would stay and do this in person. But I know you, and you just talk me around, and I've been thinking about this too long to let that happen. I have to leave. I have to go away.
You know, when we shot this, we were playing the audio.
Know that I can't stay here with you now.
We did it the next day.
I believe what you said. It is a choice. It just can't be me. I can't be the reason you leave here. If you ever give this up for me, I'd never forgive myself. We have to win. We have to beat them. And I believe you have purpose in making that happen. I need to believe that. So I'm choosing for the both of us. I'm choosing the rebellion.
Outbound! The transport! Where are they? Everything is leaving went this morning!
Oof.
Good.
Audrey, you have not watched that scene yet, so how are you feeling right now?
I wish I would have watched it. I'm like kind of taken aback from it. Ooh, it's painful. And the reason I haven't watched is because I want episode 12 to air and then I watched 9, 10, 11, 12 all at the same time. I was so nervous filming it. It's not something that I took lightly, I think. You know, sending that message and sending one of your favorite characters into sort of this journey. I didn't take it lightly, so I've been kind of nervous to watch. But I got to watch with my 2 favorite people. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, it's pretty emotional, but I feel good about it. I don't know. I feel like I should have watched it.
No, I mean, my next question is for Tony. How dare you?
How dare you, man? I never
It's
asked
such a
either.
beautiful scene, but it's so heartbreaking. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how
I
dare
know,
you?
I know.
Decide for it.
I know. I mean, it's all you ever want when you start. You spend your life in a room. You're a writer. All you want to do is grab, connect, and I mean, so this whole experience has been. I think I learned a lot on Rogue about being more emotionally direct because that movie had to be so emotionally direct, and I think that anything that I was shading before in my writing or being afraid about, it was like, wow, look at you, just really let it go. It can pay off, and I think this was the graduate seminar on that idea, and it's a pretty good feeling to make people cry.
Oh man, and it's like the emotion of Cassian like running and
It is painful.
yeah.
She doesn't even get to the end. The saddest thing is she says at the end, which is like, and then we'll have time to be together. When it's over, when we're done, then we'll be together.
Yeah.
It's just that's
I'm crying now.
It's what this. I mean, how, and I keep repeating this, but truly, it makes every piece of this story like so emotionally charged. We know what every promise means. The options of those promises to succeed. Oh, damn, it's painful.
Oh yeah, it's like, and the amount of like when I think about Cassian and Rogue too, I'm like, oh, like now I'm thinking about his.
Have you
mind.
gone back and watched it?
I did.
I have not.
Yeah, I mean it's.
It's
yes.
weird. Is it weird or is it?
Well, it's just like it like recontextualizes what you think Cassian is thinking, or what he's feeling.
I know. I'm going to do it next week, but I haven't done it yet.
Which is the
Have you done it?
Yes. Which is the beauty of cinema, because also when it happens naturally when you go back to a film and you're 30 or 40 and suddenly you realize the perspective of the parents of the same story you were watching and you go like, oh crap, it's beautiful to give. I mean, that's what makes film so special, that it's there forever for you to come back,
Yeah.
And this time it's gonna be. I'm hoping they make it big, no? They may give us an opportunity.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna go watch next week though. I'm gonna man up and do it.
You haven't yet.
Ultimate sacrifice of love. Ultimate.
Oh, Adria.
I know. I wish I was there with you guys.
We have another live question. Let's go to that one now. For Adria and Diego, which Bix Cassian scene was your favorite to film, and how much connection was there while filming? I mean,
I think one of my favorites was the sort of Phyrexian ritual that we did. I remember Tony sort of said, we want to choreograph sort of a dance, something that feels like a ritual, something that feels like these two characters have been doing it since they're little children, and now they get to reconnect through this ritual. And they hired a wonderful choreographer, and smartly so, the choreographer sort of let us kind of do our thing, and Diego kind of started doing this hand gesture, and which led me to just trust in my scene partner that I've been working with for almost 4 years at that point, and just sort of follow him. And it was this really beautiful kind of scene that brought us together, and it was probably one of the first things that we filmed in season 2, at least both of us together, to like really culminized the journey that these two characters were gonna go on. At least for me, it was just like follow, trust, and lead with love when it comes to Bix and Cassian. So I love that scene so much.
We had Tony in a computer, you remember, witnessing the moment. It was
really important to me. I mean, I wanted the safe house to be a character in the show. I told Luke in the beginning, I said, I want the safe house to be as important as any character in the show. And that's a pretty out there idea. And that was a building block in it. You want to feel them trying to bring home. What do you take with you? You have your bag and your backpack and nothing else, but they have stone and sky. They have this piece of ferrex that they go with them everywhere. It's also two beautiful people that you want to see touch each other. So there's that. I'll tell you one thing. Every single piece of music that we put against it worked. I originally did it with with Time. Yeah, we had that jazz piece.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, they filmed it great. They did a great job. That is a day that I was virtually on set to make sure.
But on the rehearsal, and it was very nice. Like this is a show where we rehearsed on weekends. Like we never stopped, and it was always like there was always Tony there. Someone like when these things had to be decided. But I'm gonna go for another one, which is the also because of the whole production and the strikes, we ended up shooting that bit really late, and it's that hug. At the end of episode 3, which is like, I think you understand the complexity of this relation, you know, what she's bringing, what he's bringing, it's like, and how much they can stop the world and just be together, you know, she has so much, you can imagine what was said after, right? Like, she has so much to say, and he has so much to say, what they both went through, but they can stop the world and just physically give to each other what they need, you know?
Oh my God, that's beautiful. Let's go to another live question. Bix's journey to rebuild herself and her final sacrifice was one of the most powerful storylines of the season. After everything she's been through, what do you hope for Bix's future? No spoilers.
This is
Good luck.
It's
a cupcake, right? You want that cupcake.
I want that cupcake, yes. I don't know, I almost don't want to, the last sort of how Bix's journey ends feels so right for me, and I love the way that she sort of parts ways in this show, that I wouldn't want to put my fingerprint on it. I mean, I hope, of course, I hope they get back together. I hope, you know, I hope that they find each other. I hope so many things. I hope that they're able to do what they set out to with the rebellion. There's so many hopes, but you know, Bix doesn't know so far ahead. So I think all she can be is just really hopeful. And I guess for me, I just hope at least one of those little things come true.
Yeah. I'll let you off the hook. Thank you to everyone who are watching today and celebrating Andor season 2 with us. And also to our special guests for calling in. Adria, Tony, Diego, any last words as we hand?
Thank you, Ash. You have been on the ride. You have ride or die all the way through this whole thing, man. You really crushed it. Really good.
Thank you.
It's very reassuring to see you here.
That means so much. Thank you.
You're really
so
good.
much.
No, cool.
It's cool how you talk about it, and how you talk about the show, and how genuine is what you say.
Oh my God, you got it.
All right, we're trying to get you to cry, but it's not working.
It's not hard to do.
Unbelievable.
Any last words about the finale?
You know what? I mean, I'm really, 8 and 9 are a real bomb. So I was talking to my brother Johnny yesterday, and we're really pleased that 10 is what it is, and it's dropping tonight. So we're ready to, we're going to finish strong, I think. I think we will.
Yeah. Adria?
Hope so.
Anything to add there?
Oh man, I can't wait for everyone to watch the whole show, the whole entirety of the show, and I'm gonna leave it there.
Yeah.
And Diego?
I think just because probably these things might get to them, but and I'm sure this represents Tony's and Adrian, but I want to send a huge shout to the whole crew, to everyone that worked in this show for these 2 seasons. You know, it's hundreds and hundreds of people.
Thousands of people.
When you think about everyone that contributed to this, I mean, thank you so much. We hope you're as proud as we are, and it was beautiful to cross paths with all of you. Yeah.
Well, thank you. On that note, thank you for having me be a part of this. It has been such an honor. And yeah, it all happens in a few hours on Disney Plus, and you will not want to miss it. Trust me, the Andor Season 2 finale. Few hours, Disney Plus. Thank you all so much. We are going to say
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Tony, thank you. Diego.
May the Force be with you all.